One day I'm going into my lawyer's building, and it seemed like 6 huge plainclothes police suddenly emerged, like you see in the movies, somebody tying a shoelace, someone else reading a newspaper, and suddenly they spring into action. And I'm not in a movie, it's actually happening to me. They're locking me up without trial, without access to lawyers, family, and so on. And I find myself in a concrete cube. Nothing to sit on, a little toilet in the corner, a window high up I can't see out. And I say to myself, so this is what it's like. Because you've been imagining all the time now, being locked up in solitary confinement, will I be brave? Will I get through it? And I would sing. It's called the 90-day law. But after 90 days, you can be released for a couple of minutes and picked up again. It's endless in solitary confinement. I invented things to keep myself sane and occupied. I remember trying to remember all the states of the United States of America. And I wasn't sure if it was 48 or 50. I remembered vaguely when I was at school it was 48, but maybe went up to 50. But I didn't have pencil and paper. I couldn't write down the names. I had 10 fingers then, so I could at least start with the A's in my South African pronunciation: Alabama, Arkansas. And I think I got up to about 47 maximum. And then I would sing. And I'd start a song with A, always, B, because, C, Charmaine. Now this was 1963, late 1963. So if you want to know the hit tunes of late 1963, it would have been the songs I was singing then. And my favorite became Always. And I created a special verse for it. It's important just to hear my voice, to feel my body moving around. You're just sitting on the floor, staring at your toes, staring at the wall, your toes, the wall, your toes, the wall, your toes, the wall, and 3 minutes have passed. It's not even like an hour, it's not even like a day. I'll be staying here always, year after year, always, in this little cell that I know so well. I'll be living swell, always, always. And I'd sort of waltz and twirl around and feel amused that this Irving Berlin song that he wrote as a love song to his wife, and that was used by Noel Coward in a British piece of theatre for upper middle class people, was keeping up the spirits of this young freedom fighter in Cape Town. I'll be staying in always, keeping up my chin always, not for but an hour, not for but a week, not for 90 days, but always. And then I'd go on to because and so on. It was much harder than I'd expected. I would be allowed out for a tiny bit of exercise, 20 minutes each day in a little yard, and I'd run round and round and round on my left leg, and then I'd go the other way around to give my right leg a chance, and I'd imagine I'm running to the sea. And one day, I see the guards reading a newspaper, and I just see K-E-N, huge headlines. I've never seen such big headlines. And I think Kenya, something happened in Kenya. Has there been a disaster? I don't understand what's happening. And 3 days after that, security officials who'd been interrogating me come in, and they're all excited. And they say, Kennedy's been assassinated. and the assassin has been killed. I don't know what's going on. I must have been the only person in the world who didn't know Ken had been assassinated for a couple of days, and they'd found somebody whom they could tell. My 90 days come to an end. I'm given back my tie, the suit I was wearing. It was a heavy winter suit. It's now 3 months later in summer. Given back my shoes with the shoelaces. I'm given back my watch. Am I being released? Oh, yes, you're being released. I'm very suspicious. And I walk towards the street and I see one of my interrogators coming in. He's smiling, he puts out his hand. I shake his hand, he said, I'm placing you under arrest. So they complied with the 90-day limitation for 2 minutes. They took my shoes again, they took my tie. I'm back in my little cell. Another 78 days in prison, and I was released as suddenly as I was picked up. And I ran to the sea, feeling absolutely joyous and elated. And my colleagues from the legal profession, they heard I'd been released, and they came in their suits down to the beach, which was about 8 miles, maybe from where I'd been released, 6, 7, 8 miles. And I still remember seeing them in their suits with their shiny shoes, the waves coming up, and I just flung myself into the ocean, feeling joyous that I'd survived. But something inside me was crushed. And I think you never get over solitary confinement. A certain sadness just lies like a sediment with you for the rest of your life.